What is going on, everybody? It's Melted Gore. Sorry about the glare on my face. I'm using my monitor to give me some more light because my lamp broke. But anyway, we're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch, or previously called the NX. But first, I just want to say you guys should subscribe to my channel. We're getting very close to a $60 game giveaway, which will be really cool. Plus, I have a whole bunch of other stuff to give away, including a really cool Zelda t-shirt and some Peggle codes and stuff like that. So hit that subscribe button right now so you can be entered. First of all, before you guys freak out, just know I am a Nintendo fan. Behind me, I have like every Nintendo console. I have a ton of games in my collection. You know I like Nintendo. So today at 10 a.m., Nintendo has announced the Nintendo Switch, which was previously called the NX. I'm worried about it very much. So basically, the Switch is a home console that uses a whole new controller and plays new games. Tons of publishers that are on board with this console, and got a new controller which is called the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, and it just looks like a normal, console controller. There's no screen on it or anything, and you can use that at home if you want. That's optional. So the way the rest of this works, it's basically like a dock that holds a console in it, and you can slide it up, and it's like a screen that you also get these controllers on, called the Joy-Cons. Now, Joy-Cons can be slid off the screen and used by themselves. You can take the screen off and bring it with you on the go, or set it on a table with a kickstand, or you can play with it like a Wii U. So you can keep these controllers on the screen and use it like a Wii U, or you can take the Joy-Cons off and have two people playing off the same screen and all this stuff. There's also an accessory you can get that mounts both Joy-Con controllers, so you can use it as a stand with both of them on one thing, but it's like a giant square and it looks so dumb. Now, the reason I'm really worried about this game, honestly, no, I'm not even worried. I know it won't do well. I can just tell. This is not a home console at all. It's not a console. Yes, it can play 1080p games, so they say. It's supposed to get Skyrim, but that's going to be 6 months after everyone already bought it later this month. This console is dated for March. There's no specific date or price point. If they sell it for more than $300, they're really shooting themselves in the foot. I think $250, $300 would be a perfectly good price point for this, especially given that it's not even a home console. And the reason I keep saying that is this. The console is a dock. Think about it this way. Think about taking your 3DS, docking it, and then you can play it on your TV with a controller. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. It's basically a screen that you dock on an HDMI out, and you use a controller with it, and then you can take it on the go, which is, it's very cool technology, but I don't see it working out very well. I don't have to, you remember the console, the Wii U? I mean, you might have heard of it, that console that Nintendo released that totally bombed and no one cared about. This is very similar, but at the same time it isn't. The whole having the controller on the screen obviously is very similar. It's like the same thing, and a lot of people think this is like the greatest console ever, the greatest idea and whatever, but there's many reasons why I don't think it's great, and I'm going to go over them right now. Let's talk about the configurations. Now, I already kind of ranted about it here in the beginning, but let's go over them specifically. So you get two Joy-Con controllers, which are those little sticks that have one analog and 4 buttons on each one. They can slide onto the screen, and you can use it like a Wii U. Now, those can come off, and you can give one to your friend and one to yourself, or you can use both in your separate hands without a middle, so you can just like be like this. There's no motion, as far as we know. There's no motion controlling, so it's good that they ditched that crap, because that was garbage. I mean, let's be real. PlayStation Move was way better motion tracking than Wii, but so they totally ditched the motion, which I think is the smartest move. So you have that one configuration. There's the dock, where you can use the Pro controller or just use the two separate, or you and a friend can use one. They show a guy on an airport using it. They show some friends at a park playing multiplayer, which is actually kind of cool that you can bring it with you. The next setup is obviously docking it and having it hooked up to your TV. The controller, so they each have 4 buttons in analog, and I think they have some sort of trigger thing. I don't know. Let's take a scenario, okay? Say you bring your Switch with you to your friend's house, or you meet in a park or whatever, and your friend doesn't have one. Great. You can hook up the thing on its stand, give your friend a Joy-Con, and sit there having one analog stick and 4 buttons to play multiplayer. Now let's go over how many games are going to allow that. So they have tons of publishers, and apparently they're supposed to be able to run these AAA titles that Xbox and PS4 are getting. But how are you going to do that with 4 buttons and an analog stick? Now, Yes, you can play like Mario Kart, and it showed some guys playing basketball, which would be kind of cool to just play multiplayer on the go. But let's think about this realistically. I mean, obviously, a big part of this is mobility, and if you can only play like a full-fledged game by yourself, it kind of defeats the whole multiplayer thing. Now, you could bring another controller with you and all that, but which is fine. But I mean, you'd have to bring two controllers, or one person would have to use the Joy-Cons and somebody else would have to use the Pro controller, because you can't be holding the screen while your friend's next to you, like looking over. I mean, it just wouldn't work. And the Pro controller is optional, and I don't know why they call it that. If it's not packaged with the console, I'm going to be very surprised, because the Joy controller, they both come on this square. So you're like holding a square if you want to use both without holding them separate, and I think it's so dumb. And my biggest concern here, it uses game cards like the DS, so it's another reason it's just like plugging a DS into your TV. How are they going to fit like a full Call of Duty game on a little card, or Battlefield, or just a massive game like Dragon Age or something? Now, they're already getting Skyrim. There's obviously Mario games coming out. They showed them playing NBA, so obviously sport games are going to come to it, but that's nothing new. That's no surprise. But they're using these little cards, and you know better than I that those can't fit that much unless they created this groundbreaking technology. It looks to me that most AAA games are going to have to be digital if you want them to run well. I highly doubt they'll be able to release games that big on little cards. Who knows? I haven't heard a lot about them, but they got 48 publishers or something like that are going to be making big games for it. So I don't know. I just don't think that that's going to work out well. The console has a built-in headphone port, which of course is pretty much required in a mobile console. They also showed the new Zelda game, of course. That's obviously going to be on it. I think Splatoon's going to be on it as well. It's coming in March. Again, I just think it's so stupid. It is not a home console. Stop calling it that. It is a dock for a portable console, and we already have 3DSs. One of two things are going to happen. The Switch is going to succeed, and they're going to ditch the 3DS. Maybe. Or it's going to fail, and the 3DS line will be their backbone like it has been for the last two consoles. The only reason Nintendo stayed afloat is because of the 3DS's success. And adding another portable console into the mix just seems so pointless. And the reason I keep saying portable is because imagine this. Imagine taking an Xbox One or a PS4, shrinking it down to the size of this big and this thick from what it looks like to me, and making it fully portable on a battery in the same quality. Like, yeah, the Switch supports 1080p, but I mean, let's be real here. The amount of power that would take, the battery will only last probably about a couple hours. They haven't said how long. They'll probably say something like up to 12 hours or something ridiculous, but let's be real. I mean, playing even Skyrim at 1080p, I mean, it is a remaster, so it's a bit outdated, but like, I don't see it doing well, and I just don't see the battery lasting that long. I really feel like it's a nightmare. I think they're totally shooting themselves in the foot. I think they totally blew it. They should. The portable aspect, it's very cool technology. It's supposed to compete, and I don't think it will. And that's my main point on saying that it just won't do well, is it's supposed to compete with these other consoles. It's supposed to be the next big thing, but it's not going to be. I just don't see how there's any way they can take a portable handheld and make it just as powerful as an Xbox One or PS4 and run the same games on a little card or digitally. I don't see the battery lasting that long. I think the Joy-Con controllers, I think, are really dumb. The only thing I can see them really being great for are portable, vintage, old school games like the old Mario on the digital store and virtual console games. I think that the small controller would work very well for that. That brings me to my next point. Let's think about the controllers again and think about their past with console controllers. They're always bad. The Wii was a stick that was just terrible. The Wii U's gamepad was heavy and annoying and just felt weird. Even the Wii U Pro controller or the Wii Pro controller, those things weren't that great. They felt kind of squarey and bulky. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. What do you think in the comments? Just let me know anything. But do you get what I'm saying? I don't see how they can seriously call this a home console when it's a portable thing. It's clearly, I mean, the whole entire video, it shows it on the go. It's clearly supposed to be a mobile device. It shows it on a TV like twice or something like that. I mean, it's a very cool piece of technology, but to call it a home full-fledged console is ridiculous. I think that's nuts. There's no way that it's gonna keep up with Xbox One and PS4. I mean, they promised that with the Wii U, and that was a full-fledged home console. They said that it was gonna compete and have all these games, and then everyone's like, no, we're not making anything for it because it didn't sell. I see it being really cool. I'm gonna get one, of course, to try it out because I need to do that for you guys and all that, but I don't know. And depending on the price point, that's what's really going to do it. If this thing's $200-$300, okay, but if it launches for $400-$500, nope, that's going to be rough for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to bitch about that. It does look very nice. It's got this like sleek, metal-looking look, and it does look really nice. The name is fine. I don't have a problem with the name. Better than NX in my opinion. When I first read Switch, right before I was watching the trailer, I was like, oh no. I know it's something weird, and it is something weird, but at the same time it's really cool. But God, see, this would be a really cool add-on for a console. Think of like the PlayStation VR for the PS4. It could be a similar thing. That would be really cool, kind of like an addition accessory where you can like bring the games with you. But again, those little cartridges and digital storage, I mean, that's gotta be rough. If you download Gears of War 4 on Xbox One, it's like 80 gigs. If you download No Man's Sky, that was huge. Just anything, any big deal game. Obviously those are both exclusives and would never be on the Switch, but you get what I'm saying. Downloading one game is a ton of storage. This thing would have to have multiple terabytes because there's no way you're going to want to take an external hard drive with you, or you'll constantly have to delete and install games because, again, I just don't see how they're going to fit a huge game onto a little card. But anyway, guys, that is enough for this video. I hope I was informative. I hope I helped you out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I may do another video on this console as more stuff comes out and everything. But other than that, I will talk to you all later. Stay melted, everybody.